2 weeks ago, my husband and I ripped all the kitchen cabinets out. And starting about a week ago, we've been building new cabinets and putting them in. And we've had electricians here and people cutting into walls and whatever. Why am I telling you about this? Because I'm a person who's prone to having congestion, and all this construction dust has made it worse. Now, earlier this week, I had planned a karaoke night with some of my local adult students. So we met at a brewery, we sang, we ate some food, we drank some beer, and it was a really fun time. But an older version of myself, or I should say a younger version of myself, a past version of myself, would not have done it. I would have canceled or rescheduled or gone and not sang, because congestion and all my fear and frustration around congestion would have stopped me. But that's not a thing for me anymore. So if congestion is stopping you or frustrating you and making things more difficult for you, hang out with me for a little bit and let me teach you the 3 angles of attack that made it so this isn't a thing for me anymore. By the way, I'm Judy Fine. I created the Singer Athlete Workout Program. That's my online singing course. I'm also an artist development coach, and I have a program called Hobbyist to Gigging Singer. You can check both of those out at onlinewithjudyfine.com. And don't forget, if you enjoy this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel. As usual, I'm going to be drawing from different tutorials and presentations I've made over the years to bring together the sort of holy trinity of combating congestion for singers. The first of the trinity will have the most subcategories, and I'm just going to put it all under the heading of singer's wellness. Singer's wellness includes how to take care of your body, how to take care of your voice, and how to minimize congestion. So your first goal always is to keep your immune system strong and to not allow congestion to build up. So that means you eat well, that means you average 7 hours of sleep every night, you drink lots of water so that you prevent yourself from getting sick and you keep your immune system strong. This is why I love to tell people that pursuing their love of singing can become the ultimate personal development program. And side note, if this is something you might be interested in, you should totally check out the artist development coaching program at onlinewithjudyfine.com, because it's not just about becoming the singer you want, it's about becoming the person that you want to be. But okay, back to singer's wellness. So let's say you're keeping your immune system strong, you're getting enough sleep, you're drinking lots of water, but you still have allergies here or there. You can probably hear what's going on in my voice right now. So here are a couple of ways that singers often try to maintain, healthy, clear sinuses. The first is using essential oils. Peppermint oil, eucalyptus oil, tea tree oil. If you're really congested, you can put some peppermint oil or eucalyptus oil, or sometimes companies make their own combo oils for, they'll call it Breathe Easy or something. You can put that into a pot of boiling water and just lean over it and inhale it, or just let it diffuse into your house also. The diffuser is a lot easier, and you don't have to worry about forgetting it and burning your house down. Another thing that I would say is even better than essential oils diffused into the air is doing regular nasal washes. You can do them when you're under the weather, but you could also just do them as part of your regular maintenance. So every evening or every couple of days, use something like a neti pot. You take the neti pot, you stick it in one nostril, you lean over a sink, you push the button, and then the water comes out your other nostril. That's your basic nasal wash. I'm going to tell you what I do a little bit differently. I am not telling you to do it. You're going to do some research and ask your doctor and things like that. Disclaimer, don't just do it because I do it. But what I do is I actually snort at least once or twice in each nostril while I'm leaning over the sink, so that it goes into the back of my throat and I can spit it out my mouth. I like that next layer of cleaning out my sinuses. I used to do this by tipping my head back and then letting it fall into my mouth and spitting it out. I know this is also gross, isn't it? But when I did that, I sometimes felt weirdness in my ears, like water was somehow making its way to my ears. And I don't know if that's why they tell you not to snort it. Again, please do your own research. But I'm just telling you that with my head over the sink, I snort it up once or twice in each nostril and spit it out my throat. I do this even when I don't feel like I have any extra congestion, just as part of my maintenance. Next up under the category of singer's wellness is using the N sound. The N sound will vibrate your sinuses, will soothe them, and can help drain some mucus. You'll probably want a tissue nearby. Now, if you're someone who's going through the Singer Athlete Workout Program, There are end sirens in week's 3 workout. I'm going to share a little snippet of that exercise here for any of you who are not currently going through the Singer Athlete Workout Program. But also, you could take the sound from this exercise and replace whatever sounds you're doing in your normal workout or warm-up routine with this sound, the end sound. To get to the right sound, you're just going to say the word sun and hang on the N, sun. Just try a couple reps of this exercise, but then do it more on your own, especially when you're feeling a little congested. Okay, N sirens. Here's how it goes. Make sure your tongue is gently pressing against the roof of your mouth. You're singing very quietly. If you notice a flip in your voice, try being quieter. So far, I've been pretty gentle with you, and I've only talked about sort of low-level commitment changes that you can make. But it's time to get to the heavy-hitting stuff that's going to have the greatest impact on stopping congestion from stopping you. And the first one that we cannot get away from is assessing your diet. There's no getting away from the importance of your diet and nutrition. Your instrument is your body, and how you treat your body is going to affect how it can perform for you in every category, and that includes singing. In a general sense, whatever's good for your body is going to be good for your singing. But there are things that in our day-to-day life we'd be fine with dealing with that don't bring out the best of our singing voice. The top 3 categories here would be dairy, sugar, and alcohol. These are all things that can make you unnecessarily phlegmy. Now, if your life has always been filled with any of these or any combination of these, and you have been singing all this time, then you may say to yourself, well, these things don't affect me. But it is possible that they're affecting you and you don't know it because it's part of your normal state. So if you really want to be sure that you're getting the most out of your singing voice, you could eliminate one of these one at a time for just a handful of days to see if there's a difference in the level of phlegm in your body and the level of functionality. Of all the subcategories under the heading of Singer's Wellness, assessing and tweaking my diet had the greatest impact on congestion, on my challenge with congestion. But I want to be careful with you that you don't interpret this as me telling you to deprive yourself of things that you want. Moderation can be enough to make the difference for you, and so can timing. You could also just choose to limit these when you're near a performance. When I'm regularly gigging with a band, usually that's on the weekends. And so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I might decide to have dairy, but then maybe Friday and Saturday, I don't because I know I'm going to be singing and I want the most out of my voice. I don't want to be phlegmy. Part of your success with this is going to be you going after these possible tweaks and changes to your diet without the attitude of deprivation. And the most important thing as you explore new options for your diet is to keep in mind that if you are constantly comparing what you're eating to a previous version of it, you're going to hate it. If you're eating a faux cheese grilled cheese sandwich, faux grilled cheese, you know what I'm trying to say, and you're waiting for it to taste like the cheddar cheese sandwich you used to have, you're gonna hate it. If I bite into a banana and I hope and pray it tastes like an apple, I'm going to hate bananas. That's how it works. So you have to look at each new thing that you try as a different food in its own right, a different drink in its own right. Since dairy is the most common culprit when it comes to creating phlegm for singers, I want to just throw out to you some possible dairy replacements. And although I'm using the words dairy replacements, they're really just ways that I cook food that I really, really enjoy, and I don't really think of them as replacements. The little cup in the front that you might not recognize the contents of, those are raw cashews. So all you do is you add the cashews to water and you blend the heck out of it till it's got an even consistency. It's like cream. And you add it to any meal that you put cream in. It could be gravies, it could be soup. Another one I use a lot is canned coconut milk. You can make Indian curry type things with it. You can make soup with it. I've made fish chowder with canned coconut milk. And you can make desserts too. You can make ice cream, canned coconut milk cream. And I've made tapioca pudding with it too. Really good. The last one, as far as dairy replacements go, that I use pretty frequently is cauliflower. You steam or boil the heck out of it. You blend it in a blender. You season it well because it's not very flavorful on its own. I'm a garlic lover, so I frequently roast some garlic in a pan and then add the cauliflower to it. And you can make that into a soup. You can make that into a sauce. Some people call it vegan Alfredo sauce. I don't like doing things like that because then you expect it to taste like non-vegan Alfredo sauce, and it doesn't. I don't know about you, but I don't ever want to live in a world without cheese pizza. So I don't live in a world without cheese pizza. But what I do to mitigate how that dairy affects me is I choose to not have dairy in other categories. For example, I don't mind putting nut milk over my cereal or a nut milk creamer in my coffee. And if I do decide to have a cheese pizza, it's not going to be the day before or the day of a gig. As you're exploring the foods that you need to eliminate or decrease so that you have less phlegm in your life, you can consider timing, and you can also consider how different versions of that food might affect you differently. For example, I know singers who eat yogurt but don't eat cheese because they feel that the yogurt doesn't have the same impact on their congestion that cheese does. Wine and beer both make me almost instantaneously phlegmy, but something like vodka doesn't. Now, I don't pound vodka when I'm gigging, but if I were going to have a drink around gig time, it would be something like vodka and cranberry. Of course, always the best drink for your singing is water. Let's keep it real. Anyway, I think you get the idea about the first of the Holy Trinity, which is singer's wellness. The second piece of the Holy Trinity is about mindset. It's about calming the anxiety. Very often, people's attempts at singer wellness becomes fuel for their anxiety. This is what I mean.
Now let's talk about tea and throat aids. Tea is a great tool for keeping yourself healthy, keeping yourself hydrated, and dealing with times when you're feeling under the weather. Same with throat aids. The reason I've singled these things out is many singers get a little crazy with their tea and throat aid regimen. But the reason they do it is not out of health and self-care, but out of fear and performance anxiety. You don't have a sore throat. If you're not a little under the weather, you don't need to be spraying your throat with things just because you're singing.
There was a time when I too spent a lot of time and energy on my tepid tea and my throat sprays. But eventually I had to acknowledge to myself that the fear, the anxiety, the frustration, all that had to do with this congestion was actually doing more damage to my ability to sing than the congestion ever was. It seemed like my subconscious used it more and more to try to stop me from this thing that I feared. This is what I mean. The primary thing that used to happen to me before I gigged was that a day or two before I was gigging, usually at least 2 days, I would start to get cold symptoms. So I would get congestion, the back of my throat would start to hurt. Sometimes I felt like I was getting an infected ear. I would get these cold symptoms, and then within 24 hours of the gig being over, the symptoms would go away. Now, once this happened a few times, I reached a point where I had to admit to myself that this is not a cold. Now, I'm not saying that I was faking it. The symptoms were real. I really had congestion. I really had a sore throat. But the cause of that congestion and that sore throat was not a cold. It was my performance anxiety. I have a whole video in the works that's specific to performance anxiety. So if this is something that resonates with you, keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, I'd also like you to know that in addition to being a vocal and performance coach, I am also a confidence coach. That means I coach singers and non-singers in confidence. Genuine confidence is the key to happiness, whether or not you're pursuing a singing dream. If this is something you're interested in, there is a link in the description that will take you to more information about confidence coaching. So back to the Holy Trinity of ways to stop congestion from stopping you based on what I had to do to stop congestion from stopping me. First, I had to look at my singer's wellness, my diet, my lifestyle, and my self-care choices. Second, I had to learn to calm down and stop giving my anxiety over my congestion problem so much power over my singing. And now the third piece of this trilogy, I had to build the skills, the strength, and the stamina to be able to sing even when I'm not at 100%, like I just had to do at this karaoke night. It was not my best performance, but I had fun singing. The audience seemed to have fun listening to me sing, and I didn't have to fear it. because my skills are strong enough that being a little less than 100% doesn't stop me. And it doesn't have to stop you. And of course, I'm going to tell you that I think the best way for you to do this is to use the Singer Athlete Workout Program. It has all the tools necessary to build all the skills you need and have a regular workout routine. That's it, the 3 angles of attack that I had to use to stop congestion from stopping me. I hope you found it helpful. Please help me spread the good word to other people whose hearts want to sing by subscribing to my channel, liking this video, commenting, and or telling your friends about me. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you next time.